those appointments are because we're not prepared and we don't have this sense of urgency behind us. Be clear, if your intention is one call, I'm talking to the agent who their intention is a one call close.
Yeah.
And then you're finding out over 50% of your contacts are appointments and not one call closes. All that means is that we got to get stronger.
It's a pleasure. It's a true honor to have you on our call this morning. How are you?
Dude, the honor's all mine. Y'all damn near blew me out of the water with you guys had Bob Barker speaking on your damn training to start off the thing. Sound like the damn Price is Right, dude. I'm
Yeah,
like, holy shit! Like what? I didn't know what I hopped up into. All right,
man.
but dude, like I mean, your top 10 are like a freaking well, if you guys know anything about the industry, it's like those top 10 are about as big as some people's companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yep.
they'll be like, "This is my whole company," and they're trying to recruit you right now with y'all's top 10. So
Yep.
just if you ever wondering, are you in the right place? You are. So thank you for having me on. I really
Of
appreciate it.
course. Of course, the pleasure is mine. And honestly, to piggyback off what you just said too, like another thing too, most organizations that like the top 1% are typically like generating the most amount of revenue for the organization. Whereas like I think the biggest theme with us is that, people get paid from the top down and the bottom up. So super important there. I don't know if you remember, but the first time, I don't know if you, do you remember the first time that we met? I'm not really anybody important.
Man,
So
you know what? I know it was at an event, right?
yes.
At an
Yes.
event, was it Phoenix,
No, it was in Vegas last year.
Vegas? Okay,
Yeah. So
it was hot.
yeah, my first, pardon?
I said it was hot. Wherever we were, it was
Yeah.
hot.
Yes. Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But I remember it was my first event. And you were wearing like a blue suit and a white shirt, and you had just spoke, and I tried to come up to you to come and speak to you, but you were super busy. Like I could tell you were on the move. And I asked you a question, like, do you have a moment to chat? And you're like, no, I gotta go. Just catch me later. And like you were like talking to X, Y, and Z person. But you know, here's the opportunity. Here's the opportunity finally. Because I couldn't get in touch with you at that point. But I've been waiting to speak to you for God knows how long, and the rest of our organization has too. You've made insanely huge strides within our organization as a whole. You've been an example for folks not only like myself, but you know, the tens of thousands of insurance agents that are within, FFL. And so with that being said, there's no better person to speak to than, someone like yourself. So again, I do appreciate you, joining us today. I kind of want to give everyone a little bit of a background about, you. So tell me if anything I'm saying here is wrong, but I know you got in the insurance space back in 2011, graduated from North Carolina State. And you played baseball like most of your life, and you had a scholarship, but you had your own fair share of adversity with you were diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. If I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. Yep. And at that time, I believe it shifted your trajectory a little bit. You're also then you moved on to building your own organization, and you became the president of Golden State. And you're also a managing partner with Integrity Marketing Group, following a partnership and acquisition agreement.
Right.
So it's huge, man. You've done amazing things. You've faced your fair share of adversity, and again, you're a huge example for all of us. Um, but I really want to sort of take this time. The overall theme of like today is really just to give you know agents a little bit of clarity as to what to expect. Being in the space if they're new, and then obviously a little bit of like leadership, sort of insight as well. Just because of the fact that you've played both sides. I mean, you've mastered both sides, honestly. Um, and first question I want to ask, just starting on the production side of things, is like I know at one point, like your agency, it took a little bit of a dip, and instead of pulling back, you went out and you personally wrote $400,000 in production yourself. So, what did getting back in the field show you about like your team systems that you couldn't see from the top?
Yeah, that's a great question to open up with. And but I do want to say that I'm humbled to be on this call, be on this Zoom with you guys. Um, the access that we have to people within this company is the reason why I'm able to speak with you today. Okay. None of us are that smart. You know what I mean? I remember, shoot, it was it last year, maybe a year and a half ago, I reached out to Harold, right? Because I was, just getting into the virtual world. Like I had no clue, dude. Like I was in home face to face, and that was it. And I was late to the virtual world. And I reached out to Harold and I said, dude, I need to learn how to do this virtual thing. And I'm really ready. He goes, dude, well, it ain't that deep, but like we got some systems and things like that. We went over the just basically the top level of everything that it requires for virtual. And I said, damn, dude, I ain't doing really none of that. You know what I mean? And then I had to be open to changing. And it wasn't just me changing my leadership style or changing what I'm directing people with, Ian. It was actually me doing it. So I wasn't calling Harold going, hey, dude, how do I teach people how to do this? Makes sense? I was calling Harold going, yo, how do I do this personally? Makes sense? Personally, how do I knock this thing out? What do I need to do? You got kids. I got kids. Dude, I don't want to miss stuff. But my vision of virtual sales is, bro, you're a dog working 16, 7. That was literally the way I saw what Harold and guys like that were doing virtually. So I kind of scared myself away from it, to be honest with you. I was like, nah, I don't want to do all that. Like I was, I don't care who you are, you guys, and people act all tough and stuff. But fear is okay, by the way. All right? You don't have to be this fearless ass person at all. But one thing you do need to have, and one thing I did pick up from guys like Harold and these guys who were just crushing on that personal production and still building the team, is that they had the courage to overcome the fear. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I was, dude. I didn't have the courage. I was scared.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the courage to take the risk because I thought it was going to be at the fault of my family, to be honest with you. And dude, over the last year and a half, we've done way more family stuff. When you get intentional about your business, oh my Lord, what happens with all the things we truly, truly want to be doing.
No doubt.
Because nobody on this call woke up today and goes, oh man, I just can't wait to call a stranger and sell them an insurance policy. Like, come on. Like there has to be a bigger why inside of you that has you excited to do that.
Yeah.
And you got to tap into it and find it. So, so I'm very humbled to be on here, you guys. I mean, you guys are surrounded by some very humble men and women who go out there every day and put their families first. All right. So to answer your question, bro, about, what I saw, from what's that saying? You can't see the forest through the trees, right? Did I say, you hear that? Like I said, I had this perception of virtual sales, and then on my recruiting end, made me think it was really, really difficult, right? So I was recruiting to something I never did.
Right.
So I just told y'all I was scared, right? So could you imagine the scared person recruiting into something that they don't really know how to do, but they're kind of like just taking information and just kind of spewing it over? Like, oh yeah, I heard you do this, or like, yeah, they do this, and like, dude, what do you do?
Yeah.
So I had to take ownership last year and say, dude, you're gonna do it. Like, you're just gonna do it. You're gonna see what it's like. You're gonna see what it takes, and not just hear about it through the training calls or whatnot. I think sometimes you could be doing this so long or doing anything so long, you stop, your learning switch turns off. I heard Harold say when he started here at Family First, he said, dude, I had to remember that I would have to be a student again.
Yep, that's what he always
I had to remember that, dude, I have been selling insurance a long time, but hey, like, I ain't been selling at this level.
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's a very humbling place to be when you've been patting yourself in student mode.
Yeah.
So I got back into it and I started realizing the lead flow that it takes, okay, but also the transparency it takes on the phone. All right. There is a lot of things face to face that you can get away with. A smile, the way you look, There'll be neighborhoods I walk into that they're gonna buy just by the how I knock on the door. They look at the Ring camera and go, "Oh shit, you kind of look like me." They've already decided that, oh, they like I'm gonna listen to him a little bit more, and vice versa. There's people who look at the Ring camera and go, "Oh shit, it's him." Makes sense. Like it goes both ways.
Yeah, that's the truth.
But on the physical, you have something that doesn't have to do with your voice. I didn't realize how important our voice was. My voice was important to get in front of people initially. It was like, I want to get in front of people, book an appointment, it takes a minute. I don't really care if they think I'm the cable guy showing up. When I show up and I got a form in my hand, it don't matter. Makes sense? Here, that first 10, 15 seconds has to be the most clear and articulate you've ever said anything in your life.
True.
There's no mumbling over. If you find yourself repeating a lot at the beginning, you're not clear enough. Mm. When I started doing telesales, Harold, it was, huh? What is this about? What did you say?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Burial.
I'm like, dude, like, you can't do that. Like, that means you're talking way too fast. You're mumbling. You're not clear. You know, you're not really letting them know who you are. I wasn't the agent that was like big on in the field, like having a lanyard around my neck.
Right.
I figured if I drove my black ass to your house, you knew I was legit. Make sense?
That's the truth.
Like, I don't know why in the hell I would drive. Do you know how much gas is? Why in the hell would I drive to your house and not be legit? I didn't have a lanyard. I didn't walk into their house and go, here's my license number, none of that stuff. I thought that was ridiculous. Sean never taught me to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but when I got on the phone, I continued on that same process. And I realized, wow, dude, why aren't they buying from me? Why are they hanging up on me at the banking? Why are they hanging up on me here? And I went through a lot, dude. I was about $8,000 to $9,000 in leads on telesales, losing money.
Wow. Before
I realized, bro, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. You got to be the guy with the lanyard now.
Yeah.
All right. Everything I thought I wasn't, I was on telesales. Mm. I had to be. I tried to fight it, Harold. I tried to be like, nah, I can still be cool. They know who I am, right? Like, nah, it's cool. I don't need to do all that. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, dude. You get on the phone with these people. It's Garrett. This is Dom. Hey, grab a pen and paper real quick. Mm. Nah, I don't have one. I used to go, all right, all good. I'll just text it to you. Mm. And then I would just text it to them, not even check that they looked at it. Yeah. I would just keep moving. I was so in motion that I didn't realize that they weren't picking nothing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So if Garrett goes, hey, no, I don't have a pen, I'll go, yeah, I can definitely email it. I can text it or email it to you, but grab a pen because there's going to be some important stuff you're going to need to write down. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to. Well, dude, it's going to be tough for me to give you this information, bro, because you ain't going to remember everything. And this is very important. So should we do this later or should we not do it at all? Mm-hmm. Well, I can find one. What do you mean? Dude, find one. I'm willing to lose an appointment for the person who doesn't set the stage properly. Mm-hmm. When before, dude, I didn't give a damn. Mm-hmm. Right? And I was instructing people to do it that way too, because I didn't know how important that piece was.
Got you. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like how important validating who you are is. Mm-hmm. How important letting them know. Don't just say, hey, this is my NPN number. They don't know what that means.
Oh, yeah.
Say, no, this is my national producer number. You may hear it called NPN number for short. Mm-hmm. That's like my social security number of business.
Yeah.
If you need to look anything up, put that number in. And if anybody calls you about insurance and they don't give you that, Garrett, politely hang up.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be so clear with that at the beginning so that they're like, because who is really that slow, that clear if they're trying to screw you over?
Yeah.
That's what I didn't put it together, Ian, when I started. I was trying to be fast and just move with it. And I was trying to catch momentum at the beginning of the phone call. Mm-hmm. Dude, you don't catch momentum at the beginning of the phone call. You catch momentum when you get into the why, is what I'm finding out on virtual sales.
No doubt. No doubt.
Okay? But at the beginning, dude, I am very clear. There's no confusion.
Can you say that again for the people in the back?
I'm sorry, dude. What was that? I don't even know.
Say that again. Say that again for the people in the back. You don't catch momentum.
You say it again, bro. What'd I say?
You don't catch momentum in the call until you're getting their why. That's the one thing we're harping on daily with people that are like, hey, why are you having trouble? You're not getting the why.
Right. You're not getting the why, and you're getting the why without setting the stage of who you are. Makes sense? Which during the why, they're not going to give you as deep as a why because you didn't give them the layers that they need. You know how often sometimes when you go, hey, here's my licensing info. Do you need any help? Like, you want me to help you go to the Department of Insurance so that you can look me up? You know how many times people have taken me up on that offer? Dude, like 1 out of like 1,000. Mm-hmm. Okay? But if you don't ask and you don't tee it up for them like that, dude, next thing you know, you're going to be like, dude, they hung up on me. Like, they said they were going to go get their banking and they never came back to the phone. They said that, like, that happened to me so much at the beginning of telesales. I was so pissed. I was like, dude, what is going on? What is going on? Instead of getting angry, at the client, get angry at yourself. At the beginning, I was angry at the client. I was thinking, damn, this telesales, this is why I wasn't doing telesales. This is why this sucks. I'm going to just go back to the in-home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I kept seeing Harold put up 80, 90, 100 grand a month. And he said, I just did it from my house.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, bruh, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
See, you can say it's the clients until you see other people winning.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's the beautiful part about these trainings and everything that we have is like, you could be really on your horse and you could almost be convincing yourself that you're right until Zach shows up. He's like, yo, I wrote 13 grand today. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah. There you go.
Like, well, what's happening? Dude, so at the beginning of your phone call, if you don't have the beginning of your phone call memorized, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, I don't mean like if you don't have your whole script memorized, dude, that's all good. You don't need the whole thing memorized, okay? But from hello up until they write all your information down, dude, you should be able to just you shouldn't have to look at that at all. Yeah. Like, I don't care what lead type it is. You're like, well, I'm calling IULs. I'm like, dude, all the difference is that like what you're calling about and where you're calling from. If you need a script to do that, we got to get more reps in. Because if that beginning piece sounds unnatural, they're going to know it. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're going to know it. And you got to be ready for those early objections. Like, I didn't fill that out, or now's not a good time. And, one call closes are huge.
Yeah, no doubt.
Huge. If you can't control the one call close, that first 10, 15 seconds, you're hosed.
Yeah.
You're hosed. All right. Because you'll find yourself with a lot of appointments with a 10% or 0% show ratio.
Yeah, that's the truth.
You're like, they call me one of the best. They go, Dom, you're like the best appointment setter ever. Like, dude, you're so good at it. Bro, I took that into telesales and I said, yeah, right. I'm the worst appointment setter ever. You kidding me? I got like a 5%. If I book 100, 5 of them will show up. Yeah. And those 5 will all have cancer in a nursing home. Yeah. Make sense? like they'll just be like, yeah, I died yesterday. I just came back to life. I just wanted to see if you call me. That's true. Make sense? Like, it's those appointments are because we're not prepared and we don't have this sense of urgency behind us. Be clear, if your intention is one call, I'm talking to the agent who their intention is a one call close. Yeah. And then you're finding out over 50% of your contacts are appointments and not one call closes. All that means is that we got to get stronger with our approach. We got to stop taking some of these things that they're telling us. All right, like, oh, I'm at work right now. Great, I'm at work too. All right, do you typically pick? I pick up my job is to call people. I guess your job is to pick up the phone when you're at work. So grab a pen and paper real quick.
There you go. Take control.
It's like, it doesn't matter. If they're at work, why do they pick up the phone? Mm-hmm. They're that busy at work, why do they pick up? Yeah. Makes sense? I already have the insurance. Great, makes my job a lot easier. Yep. Grab a pen and paper. Yep. Like, you gotta be ready for all these things so that you can take control. Mm-hmm. Now's not a good time for me. It's not a good time for me either. All right, so we're gonna have to do this the fast way. You got a pen? All right, cool. Write this stuff down. You'd be like, is it really the fast way? No, I just set it up and set it. It's still gonna take an hour, 45 minutes. I don't give a damn. Yeah. I got that from Andrew Taylor. Yeah. They're trying to speed you up. He goes, dude, all right, so you want the fast one, I'm assuming, right? You don't want the slow one. Mm-hmm. And they go, yeah, the fast one. He'd be like, I'm like, dude, Andrew, does anything change on your presentation? He goes, no, dude, I just say that. And it buys me time and I do the same thing. And I go, holy shit. You have to be prepared and confident in these responses so that you can buy yourself some more time. Because a lot of the times they're saying those things not because they don't have the time. They just want to know if you value your time as much as they do. Like, do you even value it, or are you just calling them and the second they say they're busy, you go, oh, okay, what time's a good time for you? I'll call you back later.
Yeah.
And as a new agent, when I say your appointments aren't going to show up, you don't even believe me on this right now. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you your appointments will never show up. And you're going, yeah, I hear that, but nah. And today you're going to get on the phone and you're going to book yourself 16 appointments.
There you go.
And you're going to be excited. You're going to go to sleep tonight. You're going to pray on it. You're going to be like, oh my God, it's going to be the greatest day ever. You're going to wake up tomorrow and ain't nobody going to pick up the phone.
Yep. Your confidence is going to get shot.
Like, I promise you, be more apt to push people to do it now than to take the appointment. Now, if they don't take the appointment after the second or third time you push them to do it, cool, take it. But don't take it the second time that they give you some type of pushback. Okay? And it's not about what you're saying. It's, are you saying anything? Are you giving them anything? Or are you just going, okay, that makes sense. What time do you get off? I get off at 5. Okay, I'll call you at 6 then. Does that work? Yeah, call me at 6. Perfect. You know how easy it is? Like, you should be 100% on booking appointments on the phone. 100%. If anybody says no to you booking an appointment on the phone, you must really suck. You must really suck. Somebody said no to you calling them and they didn't have to pick up the phone. That's crazy. That's crazy. They're going to say no in person because they don't want somebody showing up to their house. They're more apt to say no. But on the phone, they're all apt to say yes because they can just not pick up. You have to remember that. That's how important one call closes is. So hopefully that definition, those examples,
yeah, no doubt,
can put some weight on when you get them on the phone the first time, how important it is.
Yeah. And you only learned this, because you said you guys went virtual last year, right?
Yes.
That's crazy. So in a year's time, you had to make all these changes after experiencing the space for almost 14,
12 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's 12 years face-to-face. I sold for 7 face-to-face. And then, but I was like, dude, but the reason was, dude, we wanted to scale it. I wanted to grow this thing. I wanted to bring agents on. I wanted to work with direct agents, and I needed to know what that was like. And not just for a week or a month. I wanted to see what it was like for a whole year. I wanted to know what the seasons were like. I wanted to know what summer was like during telesales. I wanted to know what the holidays were like during telesales. I didn't know any of that. I knew what it was like face-to-face, but I didn't know what it was like during telesales. And there's a lot of common things, all right? But there are some differences, all right? But the common things is, man, regardless of your lead flow, you got to have consistent lead flow. You got to have consistent lead flow. And one thing I have to say is that you got to be more involved with the team. I never needed a team as much versus in person. Like, when you're in the car driving around, I don't know, man, there's just something there. Like, you got something there.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting in your chair, like a lot of you are right now, and after this Zoom, you're going to be sitting in your chair by yourself, or maybe you're in an office, okay? But a lot of us are by yourself. It's hard to be motivated all the time.
Yes.
It just is. And live dials is a place to where, if it wasn't for live dials in 24, I can say I would be Hall of Fame. I can act like it would be all good. But I can tell you there were so many days that I didn't want to be on there, but I showed up because I knew my team was going to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
showed up because my team was going to be there. That I may have wrote 10 grand earlier in the week, but I'm telling my team Saturdays are great days to run business. I can't not show up. Make sense?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things that having these live dials in this environment to either show up for people, or because you either need a team or the team needs you, one of the two. So it's never like, oh, I don't need the live dials. Great. Well, then the live dials need you.
Yeah.
Makes sense? It always works both ways. You can't be selfish in this thing.
No doubt.
So be very intentional with, if you're looking to build a team, to always be selling with somebody. I bet you it's very rare that Harold's selling alone, if I had to guess. You know what I mean? If you're growing a team, you want to be doing things with your team.
Yep.
Everywhere you are, they should be.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm making a sale, if I get a call Sunday afternoon and you know what, I'm planning on hanging out or doing something, I'm not working. But I get a call back from a client that calls me back from Saturday. I don't just knock that appointment out by myself. I get them on the phone. I reach out to my team and go, yo, hey, I'm on live right now if anybody wants to listen in.
Mm-hmm. I
hop on there. And then I help that client, but I also help Garrett, who's a new agent, looking to learn something. Mm-hmm. I always wanted to make sure my sales were way bigger than helping the client or just helping myself. I wanted to help somebody else learn something.
Yep. Impact over.
So always put yourself in position with you're building a team to have people around you. And you're new, always find the people who are selling and ask them, what are you doing? What are you going to be doing this weekend? Do you mind if I dial with you? Mind, can we get a breakout room together? You can listen to about 5 of my contacts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things like that is going to help you virtual.
No doubt.
All right. But virtual, you got to step up. Everybody, we don't know when you're in the office, they can kind of walk by you and see, man, Zach's looking a little down today. Let me pick him up. But on virtual, they don't know that.
No, not at all. Yeah.
You got to step up. You got to say something.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that I'm learning that I didn't know, because I just thought, like, why don't they just hop on live and unmute or ask something? I'm like, dude, it's a little nerve-wracking, honestly. Mm-hmm. And you got to set the stage for folks and let them know how to use the Zoom room, not just, hey, hop in and unmute. Mm-hmm. That's not good enough direction. Mm-hmm. Make sense? It's, hey, you know, if you hear somebody who's selling already 30, 40 grand a month and they're talking, dude, you can definitely speak over them. They'll mute themselves out. Mm-hmm. All right. If you're on here as a brand new agent, I don't know how y'all Zoom room functions, but I'm just letting you know the instructions that we give our new agents is, if they hop on there and somebody's already talking and they've seen that person before, dude, just talk right over them. Because mm-hmm. a lot of times new agents go, well, Harold's talking, I can't talk over him. Like, dude, Harold would love for you to talk over him. He'd love for you to mute him out. Mm-hmm. He'd love for you to speak up. Mm-hmm. The only reason he's unmuted is because it's been crickets for the last hour. Mm-hmm. Make sense? Yeah. So it's like we have to teach people this virtual etiquette. Yeah. We have to teach people this.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Because if we don't, dude, it'd just be a whole bunch of squares with their cameras off, muted.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Makes sense? But if we teach people how to do it and they see how they can get the most out of it. Mm-hmm. How this is a non-judgmental room. How nobody's going to be looking at you any other way but, hey, dude, just the guy who wants to get better or the girl who wants to get better. Mm-hmm. But if we don't coach them up on that, it's not wrong for them to have their own personal thoughts get in the way of unmuting and doing the thing. So I've taken more time training people on the way to go about getting your virtual training. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? How to ask for it. How to, if you're a new agent, when you hop in the Zoom room, what message to put in there. Hey, I'm Dom. Just got my first set of leads here. I'm out in California. Hey, I work with Harold, but he said anybody on here can would help me out. Mm-hmm. People would read that and go, all right, cool. Let me make sure I keep an eye out on Dom Square today. But if Dom hops on here just like, hey, I'm just the 78th person on here today, well, you'll just be the 78th person, bro. Straight up. Yeah. And if you don't call yourself out as the person who wants the help, you probably won't get the help.
Yep, that's the truth.
But if you do, you'll get it. And I promise you, Garrett, it ain't everybody's on here like, well, what if everybody does that? They won't. They won't. Just know that they won't. You got to be the one that decides to do it. And when you decide to do it, you'll be the one who gets the help. You'll be the one busting through the learning curve. You'll be the one doing all the things you want to do. Mm-hmm.
That's how you build it.
But it's not going to be because somebody pushed you out there. It's going to be because you learned how to do it. So hopefully that makes sense. This is all new to me too. I'm speaking a language right now that I'm like, I'm in the mode of working on with our team. You know what I mean? To get this virtual, because I love the offices. You guys just opened up an office in Utah. That's badass.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, offices are great, but I know you can build this thing virtual. Yeah. I know you can. And I know you can build this thing with, you can have 1,000 agents and none of them have an office. Mm-hmm. That's the truth. If you set it up properly. It's just a lot of the times we just we throw people on these things, but we're not really looking at like all the holes that could fall within this virtual training.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we got to figure it out. And I think FFL, we're on the way to figuring this shit out.
Yeah.
I know it. I know we are. We're going to be a place that people know that, like, dude, I can have an office or I could not. It don't really matter. And I can still build this thing up to $1 million plus a month.
Yeah.
No doubt. So
it requires real infrastructure. That's the thing. Like you touched a lot of like the cultural sort of elements that build, the camaraderie among, because that's a big piece of it. Like it's one of the biggest tenets and pillars of virtual is like that camaraderie and getting people to come out of their shell. Because like you said, everyone wants to work from home until it's time to work from home. Like you go to, we came from the office space too. Like I personally did. I'm sure you did as well. You were in person. That's a completely different ball game. But like, a lot of people in the office would say like, hey, what would we look like if we did work from home? It's very tough, especially in the beginning, because like you have to get all like the leaders to be able to sing in the same tune because we have to be the ones to bring people up, right? Get people to be a lot more vocal. And that's where a lot of like breakages happen. Like I love the fact that you even touched on how you're not only are you encouraging your agents to show up on Saturdays, but you are showing up on Saturdays too. And just to give everyone a little bit of picture, how many agents do you have currently at this given time?
Last month we had 130 sell.
Okay, 130 agents selling. That's insane. And how much in production are you guys doing?
We did about 800,000 last month.
Beautiful. Okay, so that's the thing is like a lot of people think that like, just leaders at the top are the ones who are always like, doing the least amount of work, when in actual reality, like the true leadership are the ones that are showing up day in and day out. Like Harold specifically, Harold's on this for like 12, he's on the Zoom before everyone and after everyone. Up at like 2, 3 in the morning, I'll catch him sitting there like with his kid in his lap and he's still working. It's madness, but that's what this thing takes, man. It's a beast in itself. And, it's definitely not for the faint of heart, but it's a humbling thing, it's extremely humbling, like you said, right? It's like learning a whole new product line, or learning a whole new industry in itself. Right? Like a lot of people who come from even different sales experience and come into this industry, like you think that just because sales, like you're going to be successful in this business, when in actual reality, like even you as yourself being in the business 12 years, you picked up the phone, humbled yourself, called a different agency leader and try to learn from them yourself. Right. And you sound like you've been doing this for years already on the virtual side after speaking to him, but it just goes to show that you're extremely passionate and like, like what this really takes. But no, I couldn't agree with you more, man. It's definitely the future. I know, telesales only came around like what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago now. So, this is the next big thing, man. Next big thing. It's much harder than office space, it's a lot, like we really started on the harder side of things, but now we're transitioning to like the office space, which is a little bit more easy. But the office is more so like a ground for us to all like meet here and there. If some people want to do the in-person, if they ever want to get away from stuff like that, so it's good. Sort of like a hybrid setup. Now, I want to ask you this too. Like if we were to like follow like your top producing agent around for a week, okay, what did your top producing agent do last month? If you don't mind me asking.
Last month, all right, we had Lacey. She did 38. All right, yeah, we had 38.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our top, we're working on the top. Beautiful. Tell you the truth, we're working on it.
Those are insane numbers. But if I were like, what's something that Lacey does outside of selling that most people would completely miss? Like, what do you think is the key to like her success in general?
Well, one thing about Lacey's been with us for 6 months.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Lacey's done $20,000+ every month she's been with us. Okay. Single mom, 4 kids. One thing I could say about what she does is she always reaches out. Like, I can say this, I don't know all top producers do this, but they end up doing it eventually in order to stay a top producer. Is that when things aren't going, if things aren't going the way they want them to, top producers tend to reach out to people sooner than overthink it themselves. Okay. And that's one thing she does a lot is she will have a situation like she'll wake up and, hey, America account is negative 3,000. Instead of freaking out and going, she goes, hey, Dom, yo, I woke up this morning. My America account's $3,000. I bet you've been here before. How did you respond? Boom. Then I give her some help. Makes sense? She gets new ethos leads, and she's like, man, well, I got all these leads, and I don't know if this is right, but I'm booking a lot more appointments than I typically do with these ethos leads. Like, is that how it should be? Versus, hey, I got all these ethos leads. They're all no-shows. These leads suck. She's always knowing that there's a result that can be had. She just has to figure out the right question so that she gets the right information. Make sense? So she's always thinking about the proper question based on her lack of results. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and sure. Top producers, they all do that.
Yeah.
They don't go, oh, the client is this. They go, my approach needs to get better.
The accountability of everything. Yeah.
Makes sense? So this level of accountability is what top producers have throughout their failures. And I think across the board.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. They speak the language of abundance. You know, like the answer that you were going to give her in that, based off either response, was going to be the same. But the way in which she approaches that sort of question is it's gonna dictate how she is going to perform when it comes down to, you know, moving forward, right? Even if she ends up, you know, going through the no-shows or, you know, has like a bad pack of leads, it doesn't necessarily matter. She's looking at internally within herself, taking accountability. You're giving the advice that she needs, and she's going to make those adjustments accordingly. She's not going to take like 10, 15, 30 minutes getting off the phones, thinking about it, looking outside the window. Or she's on the phones after she gets chalked regardless. That's the truth, man. Top producers speak the language of abundance. That's the absolute truth. They attract that. Now, I also want to ask you a little bit on the leadership side of things too, right? Like you have over 120 agents, and you've recruited a massive team in your time. But on the flip side, what does, like, I don't know if this is the right terminology, but what does a bad recruit look like before they even come to the door? Like, what's a red flag that you've trained yourself to spot early on when bringing someone into your organization? Because I know the big, like, overall theme industry wide, and this is kind of why I feel like our industry gets a little bit of heat sometimes, is like, it's like recruit everybody, bring anybody in, things like that. I know on virtual, like we're a little bit more tedious when it comes to, like, you know, bringing folks into this space. But I mean, what do you sort of look for?
Man, there's so many. So I'm just gonna spew out whatever comes to my mind right now. Okay, I wrote down a couple things as you were talking. When you're interviewing folks, questions about averages, okay? And you got to be clear with, like, who you're talking to. If I'm talking to a 20-year-old and they ask me, hey, what does the average producer sell? Great question. They have no bearing on, like, what sales is or how it's a lot of different variables, okay? But somebody 30 plus years old who's been in business or whatever not, you know what I mean? If they say, what's the average person do, that lets me know that they're not looking to be anything other than average, so go get a job. You know what I mean? Like, I played not the highest level of baseball, but I never got on the team and said, hey, what's the average guy do on this team? I never wanted to know that. When Harold joined, he didn't go, what's the average producer do at SSL? That's so weird to ask in sales. You know what I mean? If you're really trying to go get it. If you're really trying to go get it, averages don't matter. So figure out, when folks ask that question, why are they asking that? Like, why are you asking that? Do you plan on being average? Because our average agent is broke as hell. You want to be broke? Average people in sales are broke. Does anybody disagree with that?
No. Absolutely.
Anybody, put in the chat if you think average anywhere is successful. But these are the things, Ian, that I would hear during interviews, and it wouldn't be a red flag. And then 4 months later, I'd realize, oh shit, this is the same person who was asking me about weak ass averages. You with me?
Yep.
So when these things come up, try to figure out why they're asking that. What does that mean? Okay? Versus just moving on. All right? Also, when folks are really part-time, I've been very straight up with how hard it is, okay? In all time. I got this from Easton Patton, all right? 90 hours, 90 days. So part-time or full-time, I let people know they're gonna be working the hardest they've ever worked in their life. All right. How you figure out these red flags is that you set real expectations. You will never see red flags if you don't set expectations. You will never see them. They won't even exist. Okay. But when you start setting expectations, you'll be able to see like, hey, man, yo, Ian, this is going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done. Well, what do you mean, dude? I've been in sales forever. Dude, I know you've been in sales forever, which is while we're talking here. You must not be that good at it, okay? But this is going to be the hardest thing ever you've ever done. We're talking 90 hours a week for 90 days. How's that sound to you? And I wait. Just like in a hot client's house, when you ask them a strong question, you wait. You don't speak. You just wait. So Zach, 90 hours a week, 90 days, bro. You do that, all right? I can't guarantee you. But I'm sure you do that, bro. If you're not netting 20,000 by the end of 90 days, bro, we got a problem. How's that sound to you, Zach? If there's, what you mean? Like 90? That's a red flag. I better ask more questions. I better figure out more about maybe his definition of 90 is, dude, you're going to be on the phone 90 hours? Then he needs some clarity. I go, bro, you're probably going to be on the phone like 40, 50 hours, like on the phone. But then you're going to have another. Do you work out? No, you're going to start working out then. You're going to start working out in the morning. That's 5 hours a week right there. You read? Probably not. All right, we're going to add 30 minutes a day there. That's another 2.5 hours a week there. See, 90 hours just isn't you selling, Ian. 90 hours is you being open and willing to change who you are as a human being.
Yep.
It's going to take 90 for you to change that. It ain't gonna take 90 to figure out how to sell Tom who filled out a freaking form. The hell out of here.
That's
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I just want to know, are you open to changing as a human? Because we ain't gonna knock that out in the 9 to 5. That ain't gonna happen.
Not at all. No.
And when you start having these expectations, Ian, you start being able to identify these true red flags that are based on work ethic and commitment, not based on
that's
how much money they want to make, et cetera.
Yep. Yeah, it's like shaving down. It's like getting the objections out the way in the beginning of the conversation, right? Sell the nightmare rather than sell the dream and see how they react.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And one thing I've realized is that virtual, you got to sell the reality way more than in home. Dude, I could almost sell not like a dream, but bro, you get lucky on the in-home, bro. You get lucky. I can just have somebody drive in their car and show up to somebody's house. They're going to run into something.
Yeah.
If they're willing to get in the car.
Yeah.
Which most people, after they get a license and buy liens, they never say, I'm not going to get in the car.
Yeah.
But virtual, I have had people buy leads, get contracted, and sit their ass at their Zoom table and do nothing.
Yeah.
So with that, I got to be more prepared to help that person get off the ground. You know what I mean? So we do release presentations before people get started. That's another thing. All right. So we give them 4 trainings to be on before they get contracted. We slow it down to speed it up. We used to be really fast with it. Like, all right, cool. I like you, Ian. Your license, cool. Let's get you over to contract and let me know when that comes back. We'll talk about leads, et cetera. That may work for you. If it's working, keep doing it. It sucked for us. Okay. So what we did was go, oh, Zach, your license? Perfect, bro. Here's a link to schedule an onboarding. We're going to get on a Zoom. I'm going to send you a schedule. All right. We're going to go over the script. And you're going to have 4 trainings to show up to. You show up to those 4 trainings. Great. All right. You don't show up or you miss one without communicating with me. We're just going to take you off the sheet like we never talked. Imagine all the people that if you gave them something really to do before you committed to working with them, how much more successful you would be.
Yep. Absolutely.
How much more energy you'd be able to save. How much more you wouldn't say, oh man, that guy's going to kill it, to 3 days later, oh dude, they haven't even got back to me yet. I know, dude, if you would have just gave them something to do that was all on them, you wouldn't feel the way you feel right now.
Yep.
So I was doing that really to save me, Ian. I was so invested in folks. I needed to know, like, really, where should I be invested in? Mm-hmm. And I need to be invested in the folks that do what they say they're going to do.
No doubt.
And the more they do what they say they're going to do, the more they're going to get our time.
Yeah.
But before that, I let them know, like, man, you're not working with us. Like, yeah, so am I hired? Nah, you're not hired yet, man. You'll be hired once you pass your release presentation, and we know that you're not umming and ahhing over the script.
There you go.
Cool. Okay. And a lot of people don't make it through that piece, dude. And that's cool. That's great.
Yeah.
You know, so when they get contracted, now we got a 90% plus success rate, bro.
There you go. There you go. And you retain
versus
that
like 30, 20% before. Now it's 90 with the people who make it through.
No doubt. Yeah.
So,
you've saved
that. A long answer to your red flag.
That's exactly the answer that we need. Oh, no, it's the truth because, you know, Dom, the industry-wide issue right now is two things, right? We talk about this all the time with numerous guests. Before we conclude here, is a business churn, right? Retention pieces because of, you know, agents not saying the right things to clients, and then agent churn, which honestly both things work hand in hand. But agents wouldn't churn if we took a little bit more time in assessing if that agent would even make sense within our organization, if we can truly help this agent. It's not about bringing the agent in and selling the dream. It's about, can we even help you? Can we even trust that you're gonna, you know, attend to a training class or get on the phones or abide by standards that we have to? These standards are not set by us. We don't work around our schedule, your schedule, and my schedule. It's around the client's schedule, right? Because obviously certain times people get home from work, they leave for work in the morning. Morning and the evening is the best time to be able to talk to people. Afternoon, that's underwriting. Let's go to the gym, do what you need to do. If you're really an animal, you go to the gym in the morning before you even get the day started, right? But that's the bare truth, man. Just like talking to leads, get the objections out the way in the beginning, assess people a little bit better. But I think I want to open it up for questions here momentarily.
We'll get to the questions. If we need to go over, bro, I got some time. All right.
Okay, beautiful. Awesome.
This says, you said something about churning agents, those two things, right?
Yes.
When you guys are interviewing, and anybody on here, I know you can relate to this. The number one thing that folks say that they're lacking with where they are, just like in sales, right? In sales, you always want to figure out, why didn't you buy already? I got to figure out all the agents they spoke to before of why they didn't buy insurance, right? The number one thing I hear from recruits is support and training.
There you go. Yeah.
It's not comp. It's not leads. Not all the stuff that you may think it is. It's support and leads.
Yep.
So during your interview with people, focus on the support and leads. Focus on, if they were like, hey, I was at X company. Talk to them about the support and leads that they required, that they offered, and why didn't they take it? Why didn't you do it over there? Why was at this company? Great, dude. They heard they do great things. They're not as big as us, but like they do great things. People over there make a lot of money. Why weren't you making money over there? Mm-hmm. I never act like what I have is going to change the lazy person.
Yeah.
When you recruit, a lot of the times you act like what you have is going to magically change them from being a person who wasn't coachable to being coachable.
Yeah.
I stay over there. Just like with the lead, I'm not going to move on until they tell me, hey, yeah, I sat down with 3 agents already. I'm not just going to go, okay, and continue on with my thing. That'd be ridiculous. But we do that with recruiting.
Yep.
Like, dude, they're going to tell you all the things. I had a guy last week that says, I was at this company. I was like, yeah, dude, we're like the same place. We're better, but like we do the same stuff. Everywhere you go, there you are, dude. So you're going to show up here with the same carriers and do better? It wasn't like you were doing 30, 40 grand looking to do 50, dude. You were doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing followed by a new carrier or a new IMO is probably going to yield nothing. So I think you should stay where you are. Mm-hmm. He goes, damn, I never had anybody approach me like that in this space. I was like, I know everybody else is thirsty. I'm not. I'm hungry, not thirsty.
There you go.
Big difference.
There you go. That's the truth.
Make sense?
Yep.
Big freaking difference. And when you're hungry, you identify red flags. When you're thirsty, you bypass them. All right, so what's the question here? We want to take some of these?
Yeah, let's take some of these questions. I appreciate it.